Welcome back to the Salad and Carbs podcast, the only place where you can get 2 of your 5 a day. Welcome back, Carbs. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's been another great day today. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, we're actually recording this episode a day, not even a day. It's not even been 24 hours since we recorded the last episode. So if you're on that cliffhanger thinking, oh, how's Luton? How was it? You're going to have to wait till episode 4 because Carbs hasn't actually even been to Luton yet.
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. But by the time you listen to this, it could have been 8 days ago. It could have been 7 days ago. Who knows? You're going to get lost in a time loop.
I could be on the coach there by the time you listen to this. I'll be on the coach back. I could be on the coach back thinking, oh my God, what a shit performance that was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Luton, the town that is just a football team and a football ground, and an airport and a big weekend. Shit performance from Luton. There's no nightlife, there's no chippies, there's nothing. But yeah, you're gonna have to wait till episode 4 to find out about that. Little bit of feedback already. From the second episode, which is nice. A bit of engagement. Make sure that you give us a follow on platforms like Spotify. We're now on YouTube as well. The RSS feed is all set up, so you can actually find us on YouTube. Just search for the Salad and Carbs podcast. That's where we are. Pretty much good feedback so far. I mean, there was a slight issue with my audio in episode 2, and to be fair, when I was editing it, I could hear it. It was a little bit weird. I was trying to be a bit clever and a bit artsy with my microphone position and the settings, so I've recalibrated.
Trying to think outside the box too much there, I think.
Probably,
yeah.
And hopefully we'll see some different results in this episode. There was a little bit of feedback regarding the content, so people are saying that they're enjoying the content and probably the format and how it goes. So that's really nice to hear. We're here for episode 3. This is like unknown territory, like what on earth is going on, and we've got a nice episode planned for you today. There was a little bit of homework though that I gave you in the last episode. Now, because we're recording this pretty soon, I'm wondering if you'd been able to do this homework or not, but don't worry, because I've already done it for you if you haven't. Can you remember what the homework was?
I can't, no. I cannot personally. I've slept since then, so yeah, I've slept and I've been to work, and sorry, I've let you down.
Tell you what, Secret Santa, please send Carbs a notepad or some post-it notes. So I asked you, what percentage of pork is in a packet of Richmond sausages?
This is the problem, innit? You did send me this. I remember now you said it. I haven't even been to a shop to see it, but saying that, I could have Googled it anyway.
That's what I was going to say. You don't even need to go to the shop anymore because I did this earlier and I actually Googled it. But I'm going to let you have a guess. What percentage...
I think by default of you asking me what's in it, I feel like there's a shock value in here somewhere. So
okay,
I'm going to go with something that would be surprising to me, and that is like below 50%. So I'm going to say something like 45%.
Whoa! I'll tell you what, you're 1% off. You're 1% off. Yeah. Nice. So in a packet of Richmond sausages, there is 44% pork.
Oh, wow.
So 44% pork in a packet of Richmond pork sausages. So
what's the rest?
Exactly. That's the next question. It's like, what is in the 56%? Well, there's a lot of wheat in there and some rusk and some metabisulfites and loads of fascinating ingredients. It's almost like that Walter White analogy that we had in episode 2. But yeah, that was the homework. But you were very close with your guess. So let's move on to today's episode. And today's episode is going to be all about TV. We're going to be looking at TV that we grew up with. So maybe some kids' TV, maybe some cartoons. And then we're going to probably have a look at like TV that we watched as we got older. Moving into maybe a little look at some TV adverts. And then we're going to look at maybe the future of TV and where TV is heading into the future. So let's kick things off with a little bit of kids' TV. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Carbs. When you were a young Carbs, you either getting ready in the morning before school or getting back home from school. What did you have on the TV?
Well, when I was a young carb, before sugar got converted to starch, um, I was into a lot of Nickelodeon cartoons. And you're talking about your cartoons like Rugrats, Real Monsters, Hey Arnold, Rocko's Modern Life. Probably
Ren and
shouldn't have watched it.
Stimpy.
Probably shouldn't have watched it, but Red and Stimpy, yes, Red and Stimpy. You know where I'm going with this. They were all kind of the same. There were a lot of episodes that followed the same formula because they came from the same studios and that. But as a kid, you don't think about that. It's funny, entertaining. You just watch it, don't you? You know, if you want to stick for cartoons for now, or do you want me to move on to as I moved on a little bit older as a kid? Because there's different stages of TV as a kid. Or do you want to say what like your first stage is first?
TV as a kid. What can I really remember? The first program that stood out for me was a program called Tots TV.
Yeah.
Tots TV. I used to love it. Get home from school. Absolutely. First bit of French. Yeah, Tots TV and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. What a game-changing thing that was. It was. I remember, I think it was like, was it GMTV? It might have been called something else back then. But they had this, I remember being sat there and I was due to first start school on like something of September. And it would have been reception year, so it would have been my first school. And I think it was like the Monday, and it might have been like a teacher training day. So we actually started on the Tuesday. So that Monday morning was like kids' TV heaven. And it was like all throughout the holidays, it was like, when school starts, this programming will be coming in for the kids who are getting ready to go to school. And, we've got this super program that's going to be coming. And it were Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and it was incredible. I loved Power Rangers.
Yeah, I believe with that, it was a program where they took the fighting footage from of how it was originally filmed. Was it like filmed in another country? They took the fighting footage and they got actors to play out the roles like where they weren't in costumes, like for the English speaking version. And it was really clever how they did it if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, I had no idea, but yeah,
you wouldn't know.
As you get older, we get to look at the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, and the magic goes away. But yeah, it was actually a Japanese program. I haven't got the name off the top of my head, but yes, you are right. So the live action, the fighting, they'd rip that from the series, and then obviously they gave similar costumes to American actors and actresses, and then they'd they weaved in their own story to make it work, kind of thing. But yeah, it was incredible. So I guess are we getting a little bit older now? What are we still in school? Because you were saying you watched a bit of Nickelodeon stuff.
Yeah.
Are we a fully processed carb now? Are we? Where are we at in the chemical reaction?
Yeah. So at this stage, I'd say we're still in school, but cartoons are getting a little bit too, get a bit too old for cartoons now. But you still want to stay around for the sort of similar sort of vibe, like it's the presenters of Nickelodeon that you used to. It's how they present the channel. You just get used to it and you stick to it. So you start getting a few more like live action, comedy, kids comedy programs. Got your likes of Keenan and Kel. I think Keenan and Kel's an absolute classic, personally. You've got Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Sabrina.
Clarissa Explains It All. That was before Sabrina.
Same actress, yeah.
Yeah, Melissa Joan Hart, yeah.
Yeah.
Pete and Pete as well. I don't know if you've ever seen that. No, never seen that. That was a Nickelodeon program. Believe it or not, it had a very, very, very young Michelle Trachtenberg. Rest in peace, by the way. That was only a month ago. She was in that as a child. Going even older than that, what we've got now, what I've written down here is Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell, yeah. That used to be on Channel 4 quite a bit. T4 used to play a lot of replays when we were in the teen years.
Yeah, Nickelodeon got hold of it at some point as well, and then they started playing all the episodes.
Yeah, well, I don't know who originally came up with it. I imagine it probably Nickelodeon. No, Nickelodeon would have had it, and then I think Channel 4 would have bought the rights to it, because they used to put Friends on it morning and all that sort of stuff.
Well,
when we were a bit older.
I remember watching Saved by the Bell younger and thinking, oh, what's this? I can't wait for the cartoons to come on. And that was on terrestrial TV. That was before we had satellite. This is probably something I should have mentioned earlier on when we talk about younger, but I didn't. It's not part of me TV pleasure viewing. Later on down the line, when ironically I was kind of the right excuse me, the right age to watch it. That's when Nickelodeon had the rights to it and they started playing it. But it was still like set in the 80s, wasn't it? Like it was a very old program.
Yeah, Saved by the Bell. I don't know who actually owned it. I mean, we could do a quick find out.
Still remember the character names though.
Yeah, who can we remember?
Well, there was Zach Morris. There was Screech, Slater.
Screech rings a bell.
Yeah, Screech was like the curly-haired nerd.
Oh, yeah.
Slater was like the jock, and you got Jessica, and then you had Lisa, and there were Kelly.
Okay. See, I never watched Saved by the Bell really. Never see, because a lot of what your programs growing up seemed to be Nickelodeon themed. So I'm guessing you would have been in a household where you had Sky or you had access to satellite TV. So I didn't get exposure to that till I was about 10 or 11. So obviously you had to settle for whatever was on terrestrial TV. But they still had to provide, you know what I mean? Otherwise there'd be riots in the street. The kids would be out with the pitchforks, like, come on, we need programs. So it were more like Blue Peter. Used to like a bit of Blue Peter. I always wanted a Blue Peter badge, never got one. You know what I mean? I just weren't cool enough. But you know, you could back in there, Blue Peter badge had prestige, didn't it? You could go to like theme parks or attractions and you'd get like discounts or special treatment just because you had a Blue Peter badge.
It was literally a badge of honour, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, they'd be all over eBay and I'll get 100 in a bag off Temu for 40p.
Yeah.
Pokemon and Digimon, if we're still in that cartoon era, I loved Pokemon. And I also liked Digimon as well, and Digimon were like the less popular, like
the knockoff version, in my opinion.
Sibling. Yeah. See, out of the two, I preferred Digimon. I thought the story were a bit stronger, and I thought the characters were. I liked the evolutions, just the way the system worked. But Pokemon was the monster. And obviously, time, you know, it stood the test of time because, you know, if you've got the latest Nintendo Switch console. I think they've just announced the Switch 2, haven't they, recently? You know, the Pokemon games are still coming out now. I think I'd do a good job of naming the original 151 Pokemon in order. I'd have a right good go at that. From number 1 to 151. I reckon I could probably get to like... I don't know, you know. But now we're on like over 1,000 Pokemon, which is just ridiculous. But yeah.
Favourite one while we're on topic?
What, Pokemon?
Yeah.
We'll be back in 30 minutes while Salad decides what his favourite Pokemon is.
Maybe that's your homework this time.
No! I need to come up with a favourite Pokemon. Okay, I'm going to say Alakazam.
Alakazam!
I have a few Funko Pops. And I don't have many, but I tend to have like a Funko Pop from one thing that I like. So the Pokemon representative is Alakazam. And that might be down to availability, but I always did like Alakazam. So yeah, I'd say, you know, I like the fact that he was psychic and he could, you know, spoon bending and, you know what I mean? Yeah, I liked Abracadabra, Alakazam. The evolution was a nice little riff on that. So yeah, I'd probably say Alakazam. Did you have a favourite Pokemon?
It changed a few times, but I think I finally settled on it. I became a bit of a fan of the evolutions.
Okay.
I don't know how up to date you are with the Pokemon, but there's a lot more options to evolve your Eevee into now compared to what there was in the original 150.
Flareon, Jolteon, Umbreon, Epsilon.
Espeon.
Espeon, that's the one. Sylveon. Yeah, Sylveon's the fairy one. It's the white fairy type one.
I was saying, I don't know how up to date you are. I haven't actually played a Pokemon game that's got a fairy in it, so that's me. That's like, you know, lagging behind a bit.
I do like an Eevee. Eevee's a cool Pokemon for that reason. Leafeon, we forgot Leafeon. Flareon,
Glaceon.
Yes, Glaceon as well. Yeah, so yeah, Eevee's cool because of that. and
I think,
the
if I had to
options.
pick one, if I had to pick one of them, it'd probably be Espeon. But Umbreon is very
Okay.
close. But I got quite attached to those two. I trained some really good versions of them, some moves. Bear in mind, going off topic a little bit, Espeon, Psychic type, weakness, Dark moves. I managed to get Espeon to have Bite, which is a Dark move. So it came in handy when you're against other Psychic types.
Ooh,
So I got quite
nice.
attached to that.
Look at this, Carbs, the ultimate Pokemon trainer. Eh?
Yeah.
Indigo League, watch out. Carbs is coming with
Yeah.
his 8 badges. I think that's a nice place to go for a break. We've covered a little bit of, we did some feedback. We did some 44% pork sausages. We've also had a look at the chemical reaction of a young carb before the sugar was introduced. And we've had a look at TV. We've looked at Nickelodeon. We've had a look at a bit of Tots TV and De Trois. We've had a look at Japanese fighting series that Americans decided to borrow a little bit of. And then we've come to Pokemon, and it's not so popular cousin Digimon. So let's head for a break. Thanks for joining us for episode 3. We will be right back after this break. Welcome back to the Salad and Carbs podcast, the only place where you can get 2 of your 5 a day. Before the break, it was all things Pokemon, Power Rangers, Saved by the Bell, bit of Screech, bit of Keenan and Kel, bit of Ren and Stimpy. It was a nice exploration at some kids' TV, bit of cartoons that we were both watching as we were growing up. We didn't do a quick burn carb section. And seeing as you're like a budding Pokemon master, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to tell me everything you know about Eevee.
Eevee, right. So evolution, it started off just being able to evolve via stones. So you got your Firestone into Flareon, Water Stone into Vaporeon, Electric Stone into Jolteon. Then the next game came around, and you got to evolve it with the time of the day based on happiness.
One,
Espeon and Umbreon.
It's not a bad effort.
Yeah, I went for more quality than quantity at the time, rather than just throwing words out there. I actually just explained a bit that time.
Do you know what? It was probably your best ever quick burn carbs. That like we've had a few shockers thus far, but I tell you what, you're improving. Yeah. You are literally practice makes perfect in action. You know what I mean? If we get to episode 10, just think how good you'll be. Thinking on your feet. So yeah, that was nice. A little bit of Eevee, and I think that gives us a little bit of closure on that section. But we're not finished with TV because this whole episode is going to be about TV. So obviously we get a little bit older, and tastes have been, I guess they've been formalised, or yeah, but the TV starts to change. So as we get older, do we start watching different things? So let's say I don't know, maybe we're getting towards the back end of high school now. We're 14, 15, 16. What type of stuff are we watching? What was Carbs watching?
I think, to be honest with you, around that time, I was starting to game more. So I can't really say too much about anything different that I was watching. I was playing a lot more games, like your FIFA and Guitar Hero and etc. I can jump past that a little bit more and talk about other things. Like when I got to like an age where you want to watch a bit more adult content, like you're talking things like Skins. At that time you're thinking, oh my god, like I can't wait to be like in this situation where like I'm going to parties and all that lot. There's also, I'll tell you what, I've got one here, one that I really liked called Fresh Meat. If you've ever seen that before.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the Jack Whitehall one, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't really like Jack Whitehall. I think the series could have done without him. But one of the persons that's in it was someone that was also in the In-Betweeners. Now, I haven't actually seen a lot of In-Betweeners. I haven't actually seen a lot of In-Betweeners, but something drew me to that program. And I think it was just down to the fact that it was based in Manchester, and it was around the time where I was starting to go to a university in Manchester. So it just like clicked with me. I just wanted to watch it. And it was, all I can say is just funny. It's so relatable and so funny. Like all those people in that program, everyone's met one of them while at uni. Everyone's come across one of them. I mean, I think they're an extreme version, and the storylines get a bit extreme, but everyone's come across those at uni, and it's just so relatable. About yourself, like that sort of time frame that you were mentioning before. What you're saying for yours?
Well, I was still watching like TV. You know, like sometimes you'd come home from school, people would be watching the Keenan and Kel repeats or Friends. That was pretty popular back then. Or Frasier was on a lot. To be fair, I was still absolutely geeking out on stuff like Dragon Ball Z. When I could sneak it in, love a bit of Dragon Ball Z. But we've done cartoons. I just needed to get the reference in there. They might come back though, because there's been a recent Dragon Ball thing that was on a different platform that was quite tasty. But probably still watching like, you know, like soaps, like Coronation Street, EastEnders. You know what I mean? That was a staple when we were at school. You know what I mean? You'd have your tea, wash it up and get done, and then boom, Bill, get the bill on. The Bill, what a classic. DC Red Jollies, Sunhill Police Station.
The thing I remember about the Bill was the end credits where you got the feet walking down that cobbled road.
Yeah.
That's like extent of my memory of it.
Not doing guess the theme tune. I could sing them all to you. But you mentioned Skins. You mentioned In-Betweeners. Now I'd say these came a little bit later. I'm still at school at the moment. I think when you did start getting to that like 16, 17, and we were leaving school and going to college, for me, a big one for me was Peep Show. Unbelievable TV. Skins, you've mentioned. In-Betweeners. So I never watched Fresh Meat. I never really got the appeal. I mean, uni were pretty fresh meaty enough for me. I didn't really want to watch a TV program about it all over again. I might get round to watching it at some point, and I'm guessing it's probably hilarious. But Peep Show was a real big one for me. But I actually didn't really fully get into it, because it would have been one of those Friday night jobbies on Channel 4, I imagine. That's where we probably would have seen Peep Show, along with like the In-Betweeners. They used to do like a comedy thing on a Friday night. There's been so many, like Mighty Boosh.
Oh, I've got that one on here.
Have you? Mighty Boosh were quality.
Yeah.
Seasons 1 and 2 were
Eels!
Great. Eels up in Sarja! Finding an entrance where they can. Eels.
Loved it.
I'm old Greg.
Brew for your mind, for your tummy, for your anus. Eels. Yeah, love it. That's my favourite one.
Honestly. There were some epic episodes of Mighty Boosh. I remember having the box sets. But not just. So we've talked about like, you know, the Bill, and there would have been like Home and Away and Neighbours.
Yeah.
Crossroads. They were like Only Fools and Horses. You know, the classics that were being replayed on, it would have been UK Gold back then, wasn't it? Or whatever it was called. And then it became Dave. Yeah. But yeah, like, you know, your old classics, like I mentioned, Only Fool, Red Dwarf.
Oh, classic, yeah.
The British Empire. You know, all these Alan Partridge.
Oh, yeah.
See, you know what I mean? These are all staples. You needed to be watching these growing up.
I think the things with you mentioning these now, the reason they didn't come to mind when in terms of like my childhood, I think I didn't actually put them on myself. They were like programs that my parents watched, and they were just kind of on. At the age when I saw them, I was just kind of like, I don't want to be watching this. Like, I haven't put this on, I haven't watching it. So you when you're at that young age, you kind of close your mind off a little bit. But then, you know, whether it be subconsciously or just from understanding it better, you find yourself just watching it and being okay with it.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird, like how it works out that way. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, you're right. I mean, if you haven't chosen it, it's hard to get into. But you get to an age where you think, no, I'm going to whack that on. I remember being at uni and going to the library and renting out Grand Designs. like on
No
DVD.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to fucking love that program. Like, you know what I mean? Look at what can be achieved. Like, honestly, what a program. Probably there for people studying architecture. There's me, music student. Nah, mate. Friday night, what you doing? Gonna have a bowl of instant noodles and watch fucking Grand Designs. Like, real talk.
I think at the end of
Well,
the day, like, creation of all types can be inspiration for anything. And I think, like, you being you're just a sponge. And anything that's creative where people are being imaginative and, like, explaining things, you can then apply that sort of thought process to whatever it is you're being creative with in your life.
yeah, I guess so. There's probably things that overlap. I just used to find it fascinating how, like, these people who've got fucking loads of money, they just, right, there's a hill in Scotland and we're just going to fucking dig into the hill and build a house there, like, whatever. And then they finish it and it's ridiculous. And I used to just love watching that start from scratch and the struggles that they go through. Obviously, it's TV, like, it's filmed and probably produced to an extent, you know what I mean, to get the best result. What about programs like Big Brother? Like, what a game changer that were. You know what I mean? Reality TV. That
TV
was
was good
something.
back in the day.
Yeah, well, that's where it all started, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a social experiment it started with. It weren't like, oh, let's just put a bunch of strangers in a house and just, have entertainment. It was more of a social experiment, which then became mainstreamed. Like, if you look at the first season of Big Brother, there weren't much to it. It was literally that. Oh, let's throw a bunch of people that don't know each other into a house. Well, we'll televise it while we're here, and then, like, make some, like, money off it. But it blew up. It set the whole thing up. There was another reality TV program that was around as well, maybe in the second season of Big Brother, called Survivor, and that was about people, strangers, again, similar sort of thing, strangers being placed together on a Pacific island, and they got split in half, and one half would go to one half of the island, and the other half of people go to the other half of the island, and they were like separate tribes that kind of like a competition with each other. And I preferred that more than Big Brother because it was more. It felt more raw and natural. It was literally about surviving, and yeah, there were TV elements in it. They were put up against each other for competitions, and then if you won that competition, you could gain immunity for the next, like, vote out, or the prize you got for it as well. It helped you be, like, you could get like a leg of lamb, for example. That leg of lamb, it's probably better than what you've been eating for a week.
Yeah.
And then that helps you be better at the future competitions and things like that. So it was really clever. Have you heard about this program yourself?
Yeah, it sort of rings a bell, and like what you're talking about here is like a format of a game show, which makes me think of other game shows like Catchphrase, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah, The Chase.
See, the chase is sort of modern. The chase didn't
Well-
come, till we were about 18, but before that, we countdown, like countdown and the weakest link. Used to
The weakest link. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Honestly,
It was me. I mean, that was memed on before memes existed.
Yeah, absolutely. Weakest link. I mean, it were great for such a long time, and then it sort of did get a little bit boring. Deal and
Still.
Ordeal was the same.
Yeah, I love that one. Noel Edmonds.
Oh, bankers here. Go on. What's that? What's that? What's that? 14 grand. 14 grand. What are you saying, Brian? Are you going to take it? He's not going to take it. He's not going to fucking take it. Let's have a round of applause for Brian. He's not going to take it. Sandra, fucking box 3. Boom, 250. It's over with. It's over with. He should have took the 14
and just starts rubbing it in as well. It's like, and just like that, you turn a really good deal down, and now you won't come away with anything like that. Like, it's so Noel Edmonds. Yeah, it were good. I enjoyed it. It were good.
Yeah, I did like it. See, I were always a fiend for Countdown. Because I used to love the creating words, and I used to.
I bet you love the number round.
Oh, mate, did I love the numbers round? I still love the numbers round now. I'll have 4 from top, please, and two from anywhere else, please, Carol. Even though it's Rosie now, isn't it? Rosie Riley, Rachel Riley, not Rosie Riley. Yeah. Rachel. Carol Vorderman for me. She's the OG. Funny fact: there was a young Octo champion. I forget what the official term is, but he was a young lad. He was 15 at the time, and he was called. His first name was Oliver. and he was from a grammar school down south, right? And he won 8 days in a row, and I was fascinated. And this is when Facebook were a new thing, and he were coming out with words like sfumato, right? SFUMATO. I'm sat there like, what's my guy on about? What the fuck is a sfumato? It's a painting technique. He's like, of course it's a painting technique. Fucking hell, who didn't know that? Anyway, sent him a message on Facebook there. Found him. I said, mate, been watching your countdown. Absolutely unreal. Like, sfumato was an highlight.
Where did you pull that out your ass?
He messaged me back saying thanks for your feedback. Oh, like, yeah, mate, have a good day. But yeah, countdown, used to love it. Weakest link catchphrase. Oh, used to love a bit. Roy Walker.
Mr. Chips.
Say what you see, Mr. Chips. Oh, it's good, but it's not the right one.
But it's not the right answer.
You know,
There's Mr. Chips. There's Mr. Chips. What's he doing? That's right.
And then they pick the square on that bonus board, and they pick the one that were in worst place possible.
Yeah,
and they'd be like, clouds in the sky. It's not the one.
Not this time.
It's not no. Oh dear me. Yeah, that were a banger. That.
Going back to Deal or No Deal, something just popped in my head. Do you know what the governor is? Right. Okay.
Is it their partner?
No. Right. So what it is, you're still going to be able to answer a question with this. I'm just going to help you get to the answer. So the governor is a sum of money that the banker would offer, and it was good at getting people out when he needs them out. It was like a ace up his sleeve. Do you know what that amount was?
33 grand.
No, it was less than that.
Really?
Yeah.
3,300.
Oh, it was higher than that.
13 grand.
Right. Double it and you're there.
26 grand.
26,000 was the governor. He literally called it the governor. He'd ring up, Noel Edmonds would pick up the phone, and then the banker would just say, the governor. And then Noel Edmonds would just go, he's offered you the governor. £26,000. And a lot of the time people took it. Yeah, because a lot of the time on there, people's targets were 30,000. So when they thought, one crash and burn round and that's out the window, and then, when offered 25,000, it just wasn't quite enough. 26, an extra 1,000, it's closer to 30 than it is to 20, and it just got him. And the thing is as well, the banker was good at reading players, and he knew when to get the governor out and when it was just a waste of time getting it out. And when it was a sign as well, it became a sign of reading the banker in the end. When he got the governor out, you knew he was shaking a bit. And that's when you thought, actually, some of the contestants start thinking, actually, he's offered me the governor here. He don't throw that out willy-nilly. I might have a chance. He's scared. I can play him a bit. I can squeeze a bit more money out of him. So, it was interesting.
Oh, interesting. I mean, bloody hell, I used to watch Deal or No Deal, but I don't think I watched it to that extent.
I mean, you could go as far to say that I was like a cult member of it.
Really?
Yeah, I watched it a lot, yeah.
Did you love it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Like, one thing that I kind of noticed as well was like, you do kind of feel like the cult vibe about it, because then they started to think like, if we all hold hands, the £250,000 will be at the table, the box on the table. And, it doesn't work like that. But when you're living in hope like that and you're all in it together, you do literally start to think that you can make a difference, but you can't. It's the mentality that they got you in with.
Yeah, there were a bit of hopeism about them all, weren't there? Shades of Wickerman to it at times. Yeah. Very, very interesting. That was fun. Looking back at some of those old shows and game shows, I have a feeling it's time to probably go for another break. It feels like a good place to do so. But I tell you what, let's have a quick burn carb, shall we? 20 seconds, tell me all about Deal or No Deal. Let's go.
Presented by Noel Edmonds. You got 22 boxes, I think it were. And then you got the banker that rings up making offers depending on, the value of your box at the time. Your value goes up or down depending on what you've got left on the board. And you can win a lot of money and you can go away with 1p. and 10p, 50p, £100, £200, £250,000.
That wasn't too bad. Based on Carbs' description of Deal or No Deal via Quickburn Carbs, would you play Deal or No Deal? Tell you what, we'll find out after this break. Welcome back to the Salad and Carbs podcast, the only place where you can get 2 of your 5 a day. Before the break, we were talking about all things TV. So we've gone beyond school and we're talking about programs that we enjoyed as we got a little bit older. And then we got on a right doozy on quiz shows. Learned all about the Governor in Deal or No Deal and how much Carbs loves his Deal or No Deal. So we're going to move on from game shows. And we're going to look at TV adverts because you can't talk about TV and TV shows without those little, sometimes brilliant, sometimes fucking annoying things that are in between all of those shows, known as the adverts. And I'm going to kick things off here and say, why is it that in every single car advert, the roads are always empty? Because that is not reality.
No.
Mercedes-Benz drive on these lovely alpine roads where there is no traffic and you can do 80 miles an hour round bends and just live the dream. Or Audi or Toyota, whatever the car is, they're always on a vast empty road. And then I turn up, buy my Toyota, I'm fucking stuck in traffic on M6 for 2 bastard hours.
False advertisement.
Absolutely. Ofcom, have you fucking seen this? Listen, get them out phone now. So yeah, that's a little intro into advertisements. But what were some standout adverts for you?
I think I'm going to start with the very first advert that I actually liked, if that makes sense. Like, it weren't just something that you had to put up with for a little bit. And that was the first one we had a laugh with in my family house was the quick dry wood stain. It was when he held up the tin, he goes, he does exactly what it says on the tin. And then like we all like laughed about that. Like it was like a family joke at that point. Like it just became like if we ever said it out in a restaurant or we're on a family outing, people look at us like, what the fuck are they on? Like, you know, these guys saying like, what is this weirdo family? Other ones I will mention as well.
Hang on. 10 points if you remember the brand of the advert that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Ronseal. It does exactly what it says on the tin.
Ronseal, quick drying wood stain. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Right, go on. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Another one was the next one after that was probably your Budweiser frogs.
Oh, I've got that on my list.
Yeah. Budweiser. Yeah. And all the other ones that followed it, you know, there was like the lizards as well. Like the lizards like plotting against the frogs, weren't they? Like, who are these Budweiser frogs? You know, why are they so good? Like, you know, and they plan to like eradicate them.
Was it the frogs who came first? Or was it? Or did they end up becoming the Wazza? So because that was Budweiser as well.
Yeah, Wazza is on my list as well, and Wazza was just like a new advertising campaign. Like they were just like, right, the frogs thing, let's ditch it, let's start a fresh advertising campaign, and it was great because you didn't know what it was advertising until it was obvious what it was advertising right at the very end, and that's what makes it a good piece of media because it alone was entertaining. It weren't an advert; it was entertainment, which then there was a purpose to it.
What you up to? I'm having drinking a bud. True. Yeah, it got out of control, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more?
Speaking of beer, what about John Smith's with a Peter K on it?
Peter K. Tell you what, let's park that one. We'll come back to that one. That's at the end of the list.
You've already got that one, haven't you?
Of course I have.
Yeah, I can move on. I got much more here. I can move on.
Go on then. Let's see what else you've got that's on my list.
If I was to say this to you, would you know what I was talking about? There's a moose loose around this house.
Wine gums.
Yes.
or something along those lines. Yeah,
it was Maynard's wine gums.
Yeah.
Did you ever see an advert for a product called Munsters? They don't even make it anymore. I think
No.
you're going to need to. Right, what I'd like to do, bit of homework for you now, salad. You're going to have some carbohydrates for that salad now. Some croutons maybe.
Croutons,
Crouton. That's a Matty Boosh reference, by the way. So look up the adverts for Munsters and you tell me what you think of them from your initial reaction, because I don't want to give anything away. It's very, very, very different, I can say. I don't want to give anything away.
Munsters.
I'll tell you another one. Pepper Army. It's a bit of an animal.
Of an animal, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They were mental, them adverts.
They were good adverts, weren't they?
They were
good adverts.
They were off his head, that Pepper Army.
All the pot noodle adverts. They were good.
Adverts.
Pot noodle. I tell you what, there was another one I've got here called. Did you ever see the Nobby's Nuts advert?
Nobby's Nuts. It rings a bell.
Nibble Nobby's Nuts.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What you've got is you got these three guys walking into a pub, and they walk past like an advertising sign that says Nibble Nobby's Nuts, and they walk in, and you got there sat in the corner reading newspaper, Noddy Holder, and they all just dive in for his crotch, and he's there fighting with, not Noddy, Nobby, Nibble Nobby's Nuts, and then it was good. It was entertaining. It was funny. That was another good one of mine. I tell you what, another one you might not have heard of, but it might not have been too popular, but there was this Ginsters advert about this park attendant, and it was the song by Jim Noir, My Patch by Jim Noir. You heard that one? No? If you ever step on my patch, I'll bring you down. No? You look blank. Anyway, it's a park attendant walking through the park, and he's just being an absolute job's worth, ruining people's day, trying to enjoy themselves at the park, and he comes across a Ginsters pasty, and all of a sudden he's a nice guy. That's it. But I thought it was just a really good advert.
Okay.
Yeah. A bit more on the serious side. Got your fire safety adverts. I always found them interesting. Like chip pan fire. There was this one that scared the living shit out of me as a kid. It's like, if your chip pan catches fire, do not throw water over it. Cover it with a damp towel. And then the woman who's narrating the advert, she says effects can be devastating, and it shows a close-up of her face, and she's got third-degree burns all over her face. That mentally scarred me in the right way, because I know for a fact I would not chuck water over a chip pan after seeing that.
Okay, yeah, I get. I remember the advert, to be honest. I had a birthday party at a fire station once, and they did a live demo of how to put a chip on fire out, or what can happen if you don't do it correctly.
Yeah.
And it is quite vivid. So that's interesting. Okay, have you got any more?
I've got here just as a bit of a wild card, and I only know about this through South Park, but Billy Mays. Do you know who Billy Mays is?
No.
It's American infomercial guy, and he became really popular for he's the guy on TV like, oh, buy this, buy that, and like I didn't know about him until South Park made an episode, and there was like Ike was saying, oh, I see dead celebrities, and there was Michael Jackson there. Billy Mays was one of the dead celebrities, and Cartman then was like, Billy Mays, you didn't tell me your brother was seeing the ghost of Billy Mays. I owe him my life, because like Billy Mays sells in these like this product to help him clean blood stains off his underwear because he's been eating too much like spicy food. Rather than just not eating the spicy food, he buys the Billy Mays sold product.
Okay.
You seen this? Is it ringing any bells at all?
No, I don't think I've seen the episode. I mean, I love South Park.
But that made me want to watch some of Billy Mays' episode. That made me want to watch some of Billy Mays' information. And looking at him, I can see why he was a bit of a legend and he got included in that. In that episode, it was good that South Park paid respects to him in that way. Yeah. In just 2 easy steps. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I know the type of thing that we're on, especially an infomercial, which is really just a sales pitch. But they all are. You know what I mean? That's what an advertisement is, isn't it? Okay, there's a few on my list that you haven't mentioned, so I'm going to see if you know of these ones. First one I've got that isn't on your list is Reebok, Belly's Gonna Get You.
Oh, yes.
Belly's gonna get you.
I didn't even know what that was advertising. I just remember like being disgusted by this big belly chasing someone.
An inventive way to encourage people to buy some trainers, I guess, or some lycra, perhaps.
Just exercise, I guess, at least.
Yeah. I've got Guinness, horses and surfers. Tick follows, tock follows, tick.
Is this the one with the Mambo number 5?
No, it's not the Mambo number 5.
Oh, it's the guy with the surfer. Like, he is still waiting.
Yeah, and then I think the pint's being poured, and then you've got on the beach, and there's the horses, and then it's very cinematic. I've got an advert for Bodyform because of the tune. I ain't going to sing it, but it was like, what? Bodyform for you. Honestly,
I don't know this one.
Right, you need to check out the Bodyform advert.
Let me write this down. Bodyform.
Whoa, listeners, you'll know what I'm on about. Honestly, that was the worst rendition of the Bodyform advert you've ever heard in your life. But I bet everyone knows this one. I said, you buy one, you get one free. I said, you buy one, you get one free.
Safe Style Windows.
Safe Style Windows. Oh, dear me.
It's free fitting.
Do you know the best thing about that was? He ended up doing, he was the stadium announcer at Burnley.
He's a dingle, isn't he?
For a bit. Yeah, he's a Burnley fan, and he ended up there. I think he does hospitality suite sometimes as well. Which that northern vibe is going to nicely lead us on to the advert that I just wanted to park slightly, because this is at the bottom of my list, and you're talking about the Peter Kay, John Smith's adverts, which were a series of adverts that Peter Kay put together to advertise John Smith's bitter. No nonsense, and they definitely were no nonsense. Did you have one that was your favourite? Because there were a few, weren't there?
I think my favourite one was the running bomb, with like you got like the Olympics or like Commonwealth Games sort of atmosphere, where you got like professional divers diving for a diving competition, and you got these like someone doing like flips and stuff and pikes and whatnot, and then it says, now up steps Peter Kay, a running bomb, and he just jumps in the pool and does a bomb, and then like the whole judges just get splashed. These adverts were, I can't remember which DVD it was, but for one of Peter Kay's stand-up DVDs, these adverts were a special feature on it. Wow. Like a bonus features.
Yeah. Oh, dear me. I think I enjoyed...
Talk about the football one.
The football one were a good one. Yeah, so obviously the lads are doing some kick-ups, and they're doing quite well at the kick-ups, and then all of a sudden it comes to Peter Kay, and he just absolutely twats it into next town. Have it! And he looked right happy with himself. But I think my favourite one is the Lambooners.
Two Lambooners.
So they're out at restaurant, and then phone rings. And it's like, oh, it's Maisie. She's upset. She can't sleep. Put her on. Listen, never mind monsters. It's burglars you want to worry about.
Yeah.
She'll be right now. 2 more Lambooners here. Fuck me, brilliant.
Yeah, probably like
wardrobe shaking in the background.
Peter Kay was just like personifying your typical Lancashire dad there, where he nailed it.
Honestly,
sounds like something my dad would say. I know that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is nice, because I did want to talk about Peter Kay, the man, in general. So this is going to be the last break of this episode, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Peter Kay. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for listening. Based on the stats that I can see, we have actually, the Delia Smith tactic must have worked, because we now have more than 16 listeners, which is just fantastic.
Where are you? Let's be having you.
Let's hope that those cries of Delia bring more listeners to the podcast. Please give us a like, give us a follow, drop us a comment, give us a rating. We'd love to see a rating on Spotify. That'd be fantastic. We're going to head to that final break. This is the Salad Carbs podcast. Welcome back to the Salad and Carbs podcast, the only place where you can get 2 of your 5 a day. And what an episode we've had today. We have been on a bit of a journey. We started off with a bit of kids' TV. We've been Saved by the Bell. We have done a bit of Nickelodeon. We've done Power Rangers. We've done Pokemon. Carbs has been a bit of a Pokemon trainer and told us all about Eevee and Espeon. And then we ended up looking at things like skins and fresh meat. Then we got onto quiz shows, and we were just literally loving the governor and a bit of Deal and Ordeal.
The governor.
Bit of catchphrase, say what you see. And then we got onto the TV adverts, and we were looking at some of the classics. And we were talking about the Peter Kay series of John Smith's adverts, which leads us nicely into this section because I do want to talk about Peter Kay. For us, like, we're from Lancashire. We're not far away from Bolton. We probably sound a little bit like Peter Kay to a lot of people. Yeah. Like if you're from exotic parts of the world, beyond the Lancashire border, we will probably sound a little bit like Peter Kay. But growing up for me, Peter Kay is a part of the fabric. You know what I mean? He's a national treasure. What's your relationship with Peter Kay?
I'm just going to quickly say, add to what you just said a minute ago about, like, people probably think we sound like Peter Kay. One thing I will say is that when I've gone on holidays and spoke to people from, like, down south, Scotland, places further afar in the UK, they've said, oh yeah, you sound like Peter Kay, or they might say, oh, you sound like Paddy McGuinness. Which says it all, really, doesn't it?
In all arty.
Yeah. It's kind of like the poor man's version of Peter Kay, really, isn't it? To be polite. And my experience of Peter Kay is that one day me and my family went to someone else's house to, like, spend the evening there. This is at an age where I was, like, still in school, and the host of this house said, "Right, we're going to put a DVD on." They put on Peter Kay.
Which one were it? Top of the Tower.
It's the only one. It's the only one that was out at the time. The Bolton one hadn't even been done yet. So
wow.
Yeah, so they were Top of the Tower. At first, when it came on, I mean, there was this whole skit in black and white and stuff. I'm like, what are we watching here? Isn't this supposed to be a stand-up? I was getting a bit impatient about it. Like I said, I was younger back then, a bit less open-minded than I am now. And once he got going, though, man, some of the stuff he said was so relatable. He's just, that's part of his humour, that he's just so relatable. The Northerners like him because they can relate to what he's saying. Now the Southerners like him because he takes the piss out of Northerners, essentially. So it works for everybody, and that's the genius of it, how he's managed to appeal to all aspects of the country. And after seeing the Blackpool Tower one, I was like, any more that comes my way, I want to watch it. So what did we do? We watched the Bolton one. Personally, I thought the Bolton one was the best one. I thought it was really good. You're talking about Bullseye, your TV shows and whatnot. It was even more relatable than the Blackpool one. The Blackpool one tends to hone in a little bit more on holidays, which is to be expected because Blackpool's a holiday destination. Reluctantly say that. But
whoa, what's wrong with Blackpool? One, whoa, well, I've less of that. It's a good place, is Blackpool. Oh, you still leave Blackpool alone. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I agree with what you're saying though, because you're saying that the Bolton Albert Halls one is it Bolton Albert Hall? I'm sure it is. Yeah. That one. So he did 3, didn't he? He did Top of the Tower, he did Bolton Albert Halls, and then he did the one at O2.
It was called The Tour That Doesn't Tour because he used to work as a staff member at the Manchester Arena.
So Yellow Jacket.
That's it. So to him, he wasn't touring because he was at home, but it was a tour because it was at an arena. So it was like The Tour That Doesn't tour. That was it. Personally, I thought that was the weaker one of all the ones I've seen.
I did. I thought that, it wasn't as cutting. Because obviously, Top of the Tower, he was still, we were on the rise. Like I remember when that came out, and it was still like you said, you went round to someone else's house and they had that DVD. That's how it were then. People are, we've got. Have you heard about this Peter Kay lad? Oh, he's fucking well funny. No. Oh, we've got it on DVD. Oh, we'll lend it you. Or you know what I mean. And this is when DVDs were, like an investment. You know what I mean? You have to go down to Woolworths and pay fucking £14 for the bastards. They weren't cheap. But yeah, top of the tower, a little bit more cutting. Now, first one I watched were Bolton because that's when he'd broken through at that point. He was in, he was all over the telly.
Tickets would have been selling like hotcakes by that point. I mean, they do
Yeah,
now, but even then.
he's a cheeky chappy, you know what I mean? He was likeable, amiable. He'd go on news programmes and just, turn up and just get involved in weather and that, and just causing mayhem. Just a really, really funny person. Observational comedy, like you say, relatable. Did a lot of stuff that yeah, it works for the Northerners, but it works for the Southerners as well. Very, very, very relatable. The third one, obviously, we watch it because it's Peter Kay and we want to see what you know. My mum still buzzes off the bloody tape recording, the misheard lyrics. She thinks it's funniest thing she's ever seen.
It's like me Staple the Vicar.
Yeah, kiss your cock at night. You know what I mean? Fucking hell, died out on that forever. But I'd never actually seen the man live, and then obviously, he's had that period, hasn't he, where he did all that touring, and then he sort of did a few bits of TV, and then he sort of disappeared for a bit, and then he announced, "I'm coming out hiding a retirement," or whatever he's been up to. You know what I mean? God bless him. He's an institution. Peter, you do what you want, lad. You crack on. But I knew it's probably time to go and see him. You know what I mean? I remember when they went on sale first time, I were 837,000 in the queue. I'd have been in that queue till I was fucking 62. So you know what I mean? I thought, oh, never going to happen. Never going to happen. My mum has always been a huge fan of Peter Kay, probably bigger fan than me. And I thought, you know what? Let's have a look at some resale tickets and let's see if we can take her for her birthday. So me and my partner, we found some tickets and we took her last year, and we ended up going in August, and it was brilliant. Honestly, it was brilliant. And I know that you've been to see the very same show.
Yes.
I'm wary of giving spoilers away,
Yeah.
but what did you think of it?
I want to echo a lot of what you said. As you say, he's an institution. He's a legend. He's a comedy legend. It was one of those things, and I've got the opportunity to see him. Okay, I was expecting him to not be peak Peter Kay in comparison to what I know of him to be able to do, but it was one of those things. I got to see him, like whether it's peak or whether it's on the slide, not quite the man he was. I didn't care. I wanted to see him. The moment those tickets came up, I was eating some fast food at the time, and the tickets popped up from an email, and they were saying, "Yep, tickets are going to be back on sale. There's been a tour edition, and do you want them?" And I was like, I thought, I can't wait around asking for people if they want to go. I just got to get 2 tickets. I can find someone to go with me at the time. That ain't going to be a problem. So I bought 2 tickets, got them straight away. Yeah, by the way, you're not going to be going for 2 years. So, so I was sitting on those for 2 years. Best part of. Luckily, you didn't have to wait that long, did you?
No, I think we bought them around just after Christmas, and then we were waiting till August. About 7 months we waited.
Yeah, it was best part of 2 years for me, and so I kind of just stored it to the back of my mind, and it comes around. I went back in March. I think, when was it? 20th of March. It was a Friday in the middle of March, 20th, 21st.
It was like 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
3 weeks ago, yeah. And I knew you'd been as well, because obviously you didn't want to give any spoilers away for me.
Give anything away, like. Oh.
I'll start to say what I think about it. Overall, I had a good time. It were really good. I would go again on the same tour, just to experience it again. It was fun. I will point out, he isn't the man he was. He still funny, but he just isn't quite the man he was. There's something different about him. I'm wondering if he's ill, or because he's lost quite a lot of weight, but he doesn't look too great, and his voice is kind of changing. It's not with getting old. I mean, he's in his 50s, isn't he? He's not old yet, and he's starting to sound old, and that's my take on it. I feel like he went for a few cheap gags. or just kind of like going with the whole sing along thing. I'm not giving anything away, by the way. That's going to be right at the start of the stand up. If you go watch it, start doing sing alongs for theme tunes, etc. He'll ask the crowd, "Oh, what do you want? What do you want?" And the crowd will start doing a sing along. It's fun, but he rode that wave a bit too long before jumping onto comedy. I feel like there weren't enough comedy in there, kind of too much horsing around, and like the double encore was not needed as well. Like he came off and he came back on, and then he came off and then he came back on again in a balloon, and
I think, in my opinion, I think there's too many spoilers here for people who may yet to go.
Yeah.
So I think it was good. I've got probably a slightly different opinion because I don't want to ruin it for anyone who might go yet. You know what I mean? Because there's probably a lot of people who are in the same boat to us who've never been to see him and who are yet to go, and I want them to go and have a good time because it's Peter Kay. Go and enjoy it. For me, I enjoyed all aspects of it. You know what I mean. I was just there for the spectacle, the aura of the man. Yes, undeniably, there's something that has changed about the man. When he came out on stage, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Same.
But after like 10 minutes, I was like, "Oh, it's right. It's Peter
You're
Kay,
in the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like, no, it's defo Peter Kay because he has the same type of wit. And I think the best thing about that show is, yes, certain elements of it will be structured and you'll see the same stuff every show. But I think when you're playing that many shows, there will be little bits that will be unique to your night. So I'm really interested in like which one he chooses to film, because obviously there's going to be a DVD. You know what I mean? It won't be
I
a
will
Peter
buy that,
Kay.
by the way. I do want that DVD.
I would definitely buy the DVD. But all I would say is if you haven't been and you can get hold of a resale ticket, just go. Just go and do it. Just go and do it. Listen, Peter Kay. I took my mum and my partner, who I've not really spoken about much on this new incarnation of the podcast.
You mentioned you've made reference to her here and there, haven't you? But
but my partner's Finnish, so she's from Finland, and obviously she's great at speaking English and stuff like that. But I think part of her worry was, I might not understand it, or I might not. But he's talking about contemporary things. He's talking about modern stuff that she was laughing her head off. I thought it were really good. Yeah, there were some bits in there that like, but it's not like he's. Peter Kay appeals to such a wide audience, like from all age ranges. You know what I mean? Like he can make kids laugh, he can make grandmas and granddads laugh, and everyone in between. And I think that in itself,
relatable, isn't it?
It's an exceptional talent. And for me, I agree with that. There was a bit of a different vibe. You mentioned that maybe he has been ill. I'm not too sure. And to be fair, it's not really fair for me to speculate, because that's for the man himself to talk about.
He's a very private person, is he? I've noticed that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve to an extent because of the comedian that he is. But I think stuff that happens behind the scenes, and I'm sure if he wants to talk about it someday, he probably will talk about it. But all I would say to people is, go and see him, because you don't know. You don't know. It might be last time. And you don't want it to be one of those things that you regret later in life. Oh, I could have seen him, but I didn't go and see him.
More than what you did do, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you've got a spare Friday and there's some tickets going, or a Saturday, or whenever he's on, I'm sure there'll probably still be some dates left. Go and see it. It was really, really good. And to be fair, my mum still goes on about it now. Just to see her so happy. That was nice as well. It one off her bucket list for sure.
Even if you didn't enjoy it at all, the fact that your mother did would have been worth it for you as well, wouldn't it? To see her so
absolutely.
happy.
Yeah, she was buzzing.
How far away were you when you went?
Probably about 15 rows back from
on
bottom.
The floor?
No, on side.
Were you on the first tier of seats or the top tier?
First tier.
First tier. I was on the top tier, so like in a way, it kind of defeated the purpose of it because I found myself looking at Peter Kay through the screen rather than actually watching his body because he was that far away. But you're there, you're hearing what he's saying, you're laughing with everybody, you know.
Yeah.
So, it's still worth
it's one of them, isn't it? Yeah, I guess that's the difficulty of doing stand up in such a big venue. You know what I mean? Especially with someone like Peter Kay, because he is about those expressions and the gestures that he makes. But yeah, go and watch it. We've tried not to give too many spoilers away. I don't think too much has been revealed. Just go and get it watched if you can. And I think
there's probably one thing I've given away I probably shouldn't have done, but other than that, I'm not too concerned about what I've said. But yeah, it's worth just watching, regardless of what me. Or
absolutely.
Says,
I mean, they were telling people not to film it and stuff like that, and that's probably the reason why I'm trying to prevent a leak, perhaps, because everyone's going to get to see it on DVD at some point anyway. And I'm sure there's probably videos of people there, you know, who've been and recorded it. So, you know what I mean? I don't think there's been any. It's not a Sky Sports breaking news situation. Jim White won't be putting the yellow tie on, that's for sure. But yeah, this is a good place to wrap up the episode. Thank you very much for being with us. Episode 3. We've had a nice look at TV. We've moved into advertisements. We've finished off on a little bit of comedy, and I think next time we'll maybe carry on this theme, and we'll have a look at maybe the future of TV, and maybe that'll be a nice little segue into something like movies as well. You let us know. Let us know in the comments. Do you want to see TV? Do you want us to talk about the future of TV? Do you want us to talk about films? Do you want us to talk about more? Do you want us to talk about Peter Kay? What do you want us to talk about? We would love to know. Thank you very much for joining me, Carbs. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what I've said in previous ones. Again, thanks everyone for listening. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, just want to reiterate again and again. Any feedback is welcome. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you want to see. Well, I say tell us what you want to hear. Tell us what you don't want to hear. When were you bored? When were you not? It's been great seeing every amount of feedback I've had. I appreciate every bit of it. It's been quite inspiring, and it makes me want to do more because I do enjoy doing it. But then when other people enjoy it with you as well, it makes it even more fun. So yeah, anything you got to say, just say it. We're big boys. We can handle it.
Absolutely. This has been the Salad and Carbs podcast, the only place where you can get 2 of your 5 a day. We will see you next time. Sayonara.
Au revoir.